Okay, and welcome to the K-Files. Good morning, JP.
Good morning, Miss Sandra. How are you?
Absolutely. Well, I'm his sidekick now because he's getting so good.
Oh, no.
He brings... But anyway, we have fun doing this show because we think it's important. We think it's very important to do this. But I do want to start out with a hot and now, but it's one that we've already visited. But yes, we were just talking. Cooper's school is where the little girl that was beaten by her grandmother is one of the most talked about things when I go out in the public.
Yeah, it's been talked about everywhere we've been to as well. Mm-hmm.
So apparently it looks like the grandmother is going to be the one that did it. She is in jail. But the little girl had, you know, the faculty at Cooper's Elementary had already, prior to this day where the little girl was beaten, she showed up to school one day and they said she was beaten that day beyond recognition almost.
Yeah. I understand it had been reported to Nash County DSS.
Yes. And I'd like to know who that social worker was, but anyway, they're not going to tell you. They did nothing about it, or were still in the middle of the investigation. I don't know which, but nothing was done. It wasn't done in time to save the little girl's life because the beating happened again. And this time, she was beat to death. And you saw the press release the press conference that we played, and it was just a bad situation. I mean, the captain even said it was bad. So anyway, it makes you wonder about Department of Social Services and what's going on and how long. I mean, how can you afford, when you hear this, how can you afford to wait a long time to investigate something?
You know, this has caught the attention of the North Carolina legislature.
Yeah.
It's been on the news. There's people in the legislature calling for a full on-out investigation. I believe the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services is getting involved to work an investigation to find out, you know, who dropped the ball and how did the ball get dropped, and it come to the point of this young girl losing her life.
Yeah. I mean, do you remove the child the first time you hear about this and it's this bad and beyond recognition and all that? Do you remove the child immediately and then try to investigate it, and if everything's okay you move the child back? I mean, I don't know, but I'm thinking maybe something like that, because if it happens, things that happen once happen again, and it was probably happening before the teacher ever called.
Yeah.
It's probably been several incidences, don't you think?
There's not a doubt in my mind that this was on the school's radar. I'm so thankful that the school took it upon themselves to report it like they should. I hate it played out the way it played out, but at least they have a clear conscience of knowing they did what they should have done.
But I know they had to be disappointed.
Oh, no doubt.
They knew this child was at school every day. They saw this child, probably loved this child. She looked so sweet in the picture. And they have to be disappointed at the school to know that they called out for help and nothing happened immediately. So just a terrible situation. So anyway, we'll talk about some cases in our book today. Need to do that anyway. And Rocky Mount Police Department will probably be back next month. The guy that we were getting has changed positions, and so they're trying to get someone new in his place. So hopefully we'll have RMPD on next month. All right, let's see. You want to go? We'll go ahead and get on kilter and take our break. I know we just had one, but we'll take our break, come right back, and we'll get started.
Okay.
In Nashville, come on in and enjoy our legendary tender and juicy Omaha Angus ribeyes. And try and share our seafood entrees, your choice of shrimp, flounder, or oysters. And especially don't forget our famous salad bar with all your favorite fixins. If you want to give that someone special something to revel in, Ribeyes gift certificates can be made to order. And as you're looking for somewhere to host a business meeting or special event, you can reserve the Angus Room. Ribeye Steakhouse of Nashville. Over 10 years of great food.
I'm Daniel Moss, owner of Cornerstone Funeral Home, and I'd like to invite you and your family to give our family an opportunity to serve you in your time of need. And we offer a full line of funeral services, everything from visitations to graveside services to cremations on site with a live crematory, as well as a banquet hall to meet the catering needs of our families that we serve. We offer catering service, we offer refreshments prior to visitations and services of our family, and we want to invite you to come and experience the difference here at Cornerstone Funeral Home.
What is the Davis Furniture difference? The difference is we buy with you in mind. For generations, we have listened to our customers. We can help you find the look you want for every room in your house. Quality, style, color, and of course, service. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Davis Furniture, the family business where we treat you like family. Let us help you make your house a home. Davis Furniture, historical downtown Rocky Mount, on the corner of Hill and Main.
Okay, and welcome back. We're going to get started in our Team Cold Case book. We're fixing to put out another one. We do have a nonprofit organization, Team Cold Case. This show is K-Files under the umbrella of Team Cold Case. Our mission is to get people off the street, bring closure to families, and to solve unsolved murders and find and solve missing persons cases. So anyway, we'll get started.
This case here is from 1987. It's John Roy Reek. John Roy Reek. This case is from August 31st, 1987. Around midnight, John Reek, who was 40 years old at the time, was closing the Pizza Hut located at 1502 Western Boulevard in Tarboro, where he was the manager. A group of individuals approached Reek to rob him. Reek was beaten with a chair and stabbed over 30 times before the suspects fled and took his briefcase. Reek was still able to contact his wife and call for help. When EMS and police arrived, he was only able to provide limited information. He passed away before arriving to the hospital. His briefcase was later found near I-95. Witnesses saw a 1970s model light-colored Ford LTD in the parking lot around midnight that may have been involved. Two suspects are described as black males, dark complexion, and a Hispanic male. These suspects would be in their 50s or 60s now. Stabbed over 30 times. That's typically, and it's been my experience, indication of rage.
Yeah, that's rage.
It is. Anger.
But we know where the suspect went, don't we?
Yeah.
Because the
They found the
briefcase was
briefcase
found
at
on
I-95.
I-95, so they hit 95 and they're long gone.
But you know, how do you get off of I-95 and wind up in Tarboro at a Pizza Hut?
Yeah, I-95.
That's random.
Tarboro, I mean, that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But and it's like I mean, I know it was a robbery, but it's like they had met him before.
Yeah.
And there was a
And they had a
reason to stab
routine.
somebody 30 times. It was like it was, but we don't know. All we know is the light-colored Ford LTD in the parking lot around that time.
Black male, dark complexion, Hispanic male, should be in their 50s or 60s now. It's, you know, kind of limited information.
But I remember hearing about this years ago. I remember this vaguely in my mind, being in the news. So, anyway, if anybody knows anything about John Roy Reek's murder, please call the number. There's the number. There's Crime Stoppers number, 977-1111. You can call Tarboro PD, whatever you want to do, but please, if you know anything, it's not too late. I mean, after all these years, you can do the right thing. If there's any tips that you can give whatsoever, law enforcement would appreciate it on this case. There's up to $15,000 that you can collect in cash within a couple of days, and it's anonymous, so that's how it works.
Speaking of Tarboro, I saw online where the chief checked off the radio for the last time in Tarboro this past week or so.
Really? Yeah, I knew he
So they're
was
getting
leaving.
a new chief. Has any announcement been made on that? I hadn't seen.
I have not seen anything yet, but Jesse Webb is leaving, and Chief Webb, and yes.
That department has really grown under his tenure. I mean, he's going to be missed.
Yes.
I know the guys and girls there love him.
Yeah, they do. And you know, I talked to my brother-in-law over there. He's in law enforcement, and he said he was just very well thought of. He said we hate to lose him. So anyway, hopefully they will replace him with somebody as good. So anyway, all right, we'll move on.
This next case is Louis Jean Woodard Sauls. Very limited information in this case. This is from November 26, 1988. At approximately 2:41 p.m., EMS responded to the 300 block of Jefferson Street in Wilson and located Louis Sauls deceased inside of her vehicle. And
yeah, it is very limited.
That's it.
Yeah. 300 block of Jefferson Street, if you know where that is in Wilson. I don't. Do you know where Jefferson
do not.
Street
No,
is in
ma'am.
Wilson? I don't, but a lot of you in the Wilson area probably do know where it is. So if you know anything about that, it's evidently she was found in her vehicle, but it's a suspicious death. It is a murder, apparently, or it wouldn't be in this book. So, all right. And we've got another short one as well that we have very limited information on.
And I don't know if I'm going to pronounce this right. Abraham
I think so.
Abraham K. Salem. This case is from October 30th, 1987. Mr. Salem was working in his grocery store located at 1417 Branch Street in Rocky Mount, referred to often as Branch Street Grocery at the time. It was a small frame black male that came into the store with a rifle. The suspect shot and killed Abraham when trying to rob him and fled the scene.
We've got several cases in this book that are convenience marked murders. You know, Branch Street one, which is this one. We've got the one at Cokie Road and Old Wilson Road, Sammy's. And then there's one on Raleigh Road, Raleigh Road.
What used to be
right there at Ravenwood.
Holloman's.
So there's several of these in here. But anyway, if you know anything about the Branch Street Grocery being robbed on October 30th, 87, please come forward. Next case is just a very intriguing case that I wish they could solve.
Magdalene Puckett. This case is from July 8th, 1990. Magdalene Puckett was home with her mother, Aggie Robertson, who was 81, at 906 Clark Street in Rocky Mount, when 4 suspects broke into the home through a kitchen window in the middle of the night. The suspects sexually assaulted and beat Magdalene Puckett and left her for dead. Her mother was also beaten, but was able to advise that it was 4 black males, but she was not able to provide full descriptions of them.
They must have left her for dead.
Yeah,
and she
they thought
wasn't.
she was dead.
Right.
Yeah, or thought she was going to die.
Right.
Police believe the suspects intended robbery, but were surprised to find Robertson and Puckett. Neighbors initially thought that Puckett had died of natural causes and started to clean up the crime scene and destroyed evidence before the police arrived. Police realized that a crime had been committed, but the evidence at that point had already been compromised. In 1996, Robertson passed away. She was the only witness in the crime. You know, that's unfortunate.
It is unfortunate.
Those neighbors probably thought they were doing something good.
Yes.
They probably thought it was like a natural cause hemorrhage or something like that, and you know.
And they were elderly.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, there was no intent there.
Yeah, they were just elderly and were trying. I'm sure they were friends or friendly, and probably had lived beside each other for years, and just. Did it say that they contact neighbors initially? Police believe the suspects. I don't know how she contacted the neighbors or what, but anyway.
It probably just come up in conversation when they saw the mother appeared to look like, you know, she had been beaten, or she probably disclosed, hey, you know, people were in here last night and this happened. But you know, the crime scene at that point was compromised. They had already attempted to clean up, and it's just, and the police unfortunately are left to make the best out of a bad situation.
Right, that's right. Well, that is sad, and I wish it could be solved because, and the interesting thing, there must not have been a vehicle there because it said the. It alluded to the fact that they didn't think anybody was home.
Right.
It surprised them when they found the two people there, so must not have been any vehicles or anything to let them know that there were people there. So then when they got in there, they got a surprise. So anyway, sad case. If you know anything, you know to call the number, you know what to do. So this has been, I don't know how you would solve a case like this. I just don't.
This one will never be solved unless somebody comes forward and says,
What?
I did it.
What time was it? It doesn't say.
And it just says overnight.
Overnight.
In the middle of the night.
It was in the middle of the night, so nobody saw it. Nobody saw anything. Like you said, the only witness was the lady who has passed away.
Who's passed away, Miss Robertson.
So, anyway, all right.
This next case, again, is a short one. We're short on details. Cheryl Denise Watson. This case is from April 10th, 1991. Cheryl's half-naked body was found in the Pineview Cemetery on Raleigh Street in Rocky Mount. Reports show that a headstone was used as the murder weapon.
That's always been an interesting case, and I remember Linda Kay had a few more details on this one. But to be beaten with a headstone in a cemetery, I mean, you know, that's pretty bad. Pineview Cemetery, we all know where that is, right there on Raleigh Road. Sad.
And we have no time of day, anything like that.
No. So if you know anything about Cheryl Watson, if you knew any people that knew her, or any enemies she had, or a boyfriend, or an acquaintance, or anything, let the authorities know.
And you know, fighting crime is getting more and more and more tips through Facebook, through email, things like that. They're getting a lot of information.
Yes.
So people, please, if you think you know something, if you've kind of picked up on tidbits of information, please relay it, because that little bit of information that you've got could be what law enforcement is looking to you know, make or break a case.
And some of these cases we talk about, if this brings back anything to you in your memory, and you say, well, gosh, you know, back then I remember so-and-so and so, it's okay if you haven't called. We're not going to judge you. Just call now.
Yeah, share that information and get paid for it.
Yeah, absolutely.
This next case is from 1996. Tony Grant. July 2nd, 1996, in the early morning hours, the Rocky Mount Fire Department was dispatched to a house fire at 628 Myrtle Avenue in Rocky Mount. When the fire department arrived and made entry into the home, they found Tony Grant, 47, in the hallway of the residence outside of a burning bedroom. Firefighters moved Grant outside, and that is when they found out that he had been beaten and burned. He had multiple blunt force injuries to the face and head and burns around his body.
God, that's really bad.
So it sounds like to me he was beaten, killed, and set afire to probably cover the crime scene. Yeah.
That's exactly right.
47 years old, Tony Grant, July 2nd, 1996, 628 Myrtle Avenue in Rocky Mount.
Tony Grant. If you know anything, please let us know. Let someone know. It is anonymous. We don't know. Even the cases that we have solved, I don't have any information on who it was that called in the tips. JP doesn't have any information on who called in the tips. We don't want to know. It's okay. Just so you call authorities, you use the text to tip. Let's put the text to tip up, Lee, if you don't mind. This is how you do the text to tip. And this case would have been, Myrtle Avenue would have been a Rocky Mount case. So, and so would Cheryl Watson at Pineview Cemetery. So, if you want to use the text to tip, I understand that's out of Canada. So.
And it's anonymous.
Yeah, it's anonymous. So nobody will know that you've called. Can you find that, Lee? Okay. Okay. All right. We'll get that when we come back. We'll put the text to tip up. We'll go ahead and take our break.
Who love children to join their child care team and shape the lives of tomorrow. Applicants must be at least 18 years or older, must have a high school diploma or equivalent, but the most important qualification is love for children. This job can be a lot of fun, and all it takes is enjoying planning and playing with our children. Join our family today. Apply in person at either location, 513 Old Mill Road or 1261 South Winstead Avenue. For any questions, call Anissa at 252-937-8851.
Sal's Pizza, an Italian night out. Taste pizza fresh from the oven. Delicious Italian dishes made from fresh ingredients with savory sauces and textures that envelop the taste buds, satisfying with every bite. You won't leave Sal's Pizza hungry.
Best pizza in town, bar none. Love it. It's authentic. It's good stuff.
This is over the top. Sal's probably has the best pizza I've ever tasted.
If you want a dine-in authentic place to eat gourmet Italian cuisine, come to Sal's Pizza, home of a local secret, the Grandma Pizza, famous for its authentic taste. For the finest, most delicious dishes, this is the place. 2820 Sunset Avenue, Rocky Mount. Ask about Sal's Pizza catering your special events.
Promise you, the freshest ingredient in the market.
Did you get engaged over the Christmas holidays? Congratulations! The next big step is choosing your venue. Smith's Pavilion of Dorches is a premium wedding venue that includes a ceremony site, bandstand, indoor and outdoor reception area. Their newest additions are a bridal suite and groom's room. They also have an in-house chef to meet your culinary needs. Most importantly, you get the Smith's team of experts to turn your vision into your real-life dream wedding. Smith's Pavilion of Dorches, where we celebrate life's greatest events.
The tank is on E, and your low tire pressure light is glaring at you again. You do not have time to wait in line and pay to put air in the tires, and you certainly don't want to get out of the car in the cold and pump gas. What if you could pull up to a gas pump and have an attendant run out to greet you to pump your gas, clean your windshield, and put air in the tire, all for no extra charge, while you step inside and enjoy a made-to-order breakfast or lunch? Does that kind of full service exist anymore? It does at JD's Grocery and Grill, a service station created to bring back the full service experience to all customers. JD's Grocery and Grill is a full service gas station. Eat in restaurant with tasty made-to-order food and a grocery store all in one. The staff at JD's Grocery and Grill is ready to field all requests and will help you find anything you need. Call them today at 252-972-5000 or stop on by at 1240 Atlantic Avenue. Store hours Monday through Saturday 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Grill hours Monday through Saturday 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. JD's Grill and Grocery, at the heart of great food.
Okay, welcome back to the K-Files. We will continue. We're going through our book. If you have one at home, just go through it with us. That'll be fine. We'll continue. JP?
All right.
Here's the text. Excuse me.
Okay.
This is the text tip. He's found the graphic. This is the information, folks. If you want to text it's for a RMPD case, or if it's for another case, RMPD will get the message to the other agency.
Yes, they will.
That needs to be gotten. So, okay, thank you, Lee. All right.
This next case is from 1997. Nakia Shimon Bynum, September 9th, 1997. Nakia Shimon Bynum, 21, was reported missing by her grandmother, who last saw her on August 24th, 1997. Further investigation revealed that another individual saw Bynum on August 25th, 1997 at 603 A Broad Street in Wilson, North Carolina. Nakia Shimon Bynum left her 18-month-old daughter with a babysitter, left home around 7 p.m. on August 25th, 1997. On September 9th, 1997, a deceased person in a cardboard box was located off Benton Road in a field in Nash County by a farmer tending his land. Later that month, it was determined that those remains were that of Nakia Shimon Bynum, which was matched through dental records.
It's amazing what they can do with dental records.
Yes,
it really
it is.
Now, okay, this is confusing. So let's go back step by step of this. Let's just kind of break it down, JP.
All right. So she went, she was reported missing by her grandmother, who last saw her on August the 24th, 1997. They investigated it a little bit further and determined that somebody else had actually seen Bynum on August the 25th, 1997 at 603 A Broad Street in Wilson. And then they found her, let's see, September the 9th, 1997 in a cardboard box.
So she left her 18-month-old daughter with a sitter.
And left that home on August the 25th, 1997.
Which was the day after she was reported missing. Wow.
Typically, when people who don't know you, when it's a random act of violence, okay, it's just random, they don't take the time to put you in a cardboard box.
Right.
Okay?
Okay.
It's people who have a relationship with you, who think something of you subconsciously, that they care about. And this is stuff that's done unintentionally, subconscious. They put her in a cardboard box.
Wow.
You know.
And that was found off of Benton Road.
Benton Road in a farm field.
I don't know where that is.
I do not either. I do not either.
But if anybody knows anything about the death of Nakia Shimon Bynum, please let the authorities know. Call the number. you can certainly get some cash up to $15,000. So, okay.
This next one is also a Wilson case, I believe. Constance Melissa Pender. This case is from October 10th, 1997. Officers responded to the 1300 block of Phillip Street in Wilson, North Carolina, in reference to a body located in the woods near the train tracks. The body was that of a female, and she was later identified as Constance Melissa Pender, who had been assaulted and killed.
Very short.
Very
Don't know
short,
much about
limited
it.
information. You know, no time of day, no race information, anything like that. Just that her body was found near the train tracks in Wilson, 1300 block of Phillip Street. That's downtown Wilson.
Mm-hmm. Okay, if you know anything.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've got another short one. We've got some short ones coming up.
David Moody. This case is from 1998. David Moody, August 22nd, 1998. Rocky Mount Police Department was dispatched to a shooting on the corner of Gold Leaf Street and Carolina Avenue in Rocky Mount, North Carolina. When on the scene, they found David Moody suffering from a gunshot wound. He was transferred to the hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. Again, August 22nd, 1998, Gold Leaf Street, Carolina Avenue, shooting of David Moody. He died later at the hospital from those injuries.
And nobody knows anything about this case. I mean, they need some tips, folks. They need tips on this case because apparently they don't have a whole lot to go on. So.
And we don't have time of day or anything on this one either. Limited information. This next one, Terry Bernard Mitchell. This is from 1999, February 28th, 1999. Around 7:43 a.m., officers responded to 553 Nash Street East in Wilson, North Carolina, behind the J&H pool room, in reference to a subject that had been hurt. Officers arrived and located Mitchell deceased from stab wounds. I'm not familiar with J&H pool room. I am familiar with Nash Street.
Right.
It sounds like it would be downtown.
East Nash Street East would be towards downtown.
I would think it'd be like near the courthouse.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that general area.
Right downtown.
Going back towards the train tracks.
Yeah, and the pool room would probably more than likely be closer to the downtown area. So, if you know anything about Terry Bernard Mitchell, okay.
Now, this case is a Rocky Mount case, and I've heard it talked about. We've talked about it several times. Melvin Eugene Avent. Melvin Eugene Avent. This case is from December 29th, 1999. At around 1:40 a.m., Melvin Eugene Avent, 19 years old at the time, on the phone with his brother as someone was chasing him. His brother heard him say to the person, "You don't have to do this," before he was shot and killed at the corner of Looper and Mullen Street in Rocky Mount, North Carolina.
Yeah, I remember this case. I sure do. We sure did talk about it. Talking to his brother on the phone, but evidently his brother had no idea who he was saying that to. But whoever he was talking to, he said,
You don't have to do this.
Do this. So anyway, shot and killed on the corner of Looper and Mullins. So if you know anything, that's Looper and Mullins is close to, it's kind of off of Sunset Avenue back in there somewhere. So anyway, if you know anything about Melvin Eugene Avent, somebody knows something about all of these cases. They just do. And if you do, I just believe it is your duty to say something so the family can get closure and we can get these people. Because as we've said before, these offenders, these suspects, they've done this before.
And when they're not held accountable or they're not called into question, they know they're not on anybody's radar.
Yeah.
And it emboldens them to do this again.
They'll do it again.
And again and
Exactly.
again. It's repeat offenders that are perpetrating this crime.
Mm-hmm.
They are.
That's
I
exactly
believe
right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
All right. Well, the next one is really
It's
short.
really short. I mean, this is from Wilson. It's a 1999 case. Ramon Elias Ortiz. August 17, 1999. Officers responded to the 700 block of Black Creek Road in Wilson, North Carolina in reference to an individual that had been shot in a schoolyard. And that's everything we know.
I wonder what school. Black Creek School? I don't know. What school, I wonder. Black Creek Road is where?
Black Creek Road runs off of, if you're on what I call the new 264, Black Creek Road, if you travel over 301, it's the next exit.
Okay.
So St. Wooten, all that is out there on Black Creek Road.
Okay.
And there is a high school there. I'm trying to think of what that high school is at that exit ramp. I guess it would be, I don't know. But anyhow, there is a school at that exit ramp. It's a high
700
school.
block of Black Creek Road. So if you knew anything back in 1999 about this, all right, and I think we can do one more.
Okay. James Whelan. This case is from 2000. February 20th, 2000. Unknown suspects broke into a home at 405 Fairfield Drive in Rocky Mount. James O. Cotton Whelan, who was 86 years old at the time, was found bound with duct tape. His wife, Margie Whelan, who was 73 at the time, suffered a broken hip and was transferred to the hospital. James Whelan died at the residence. Margie Whelan passed away in March of 2008. 405 Fairfield Drive, Rocky Mount.
And he was nicknamed Cotton.
Cotton Whelan. 86 years old. So someone broke into their home, tied him up with duct tape. Sounds like they, roughhoused his wife. Sounds like she probably fell and broke a hip during all this.
Another one of those home invasions.
Home invasion.
Terrible. Okay. Well, that's all for today. If you know anything about any of the cases we've talked about or any of the cases that we've talked about in the past, if it's a case we've already talked about, that's fine too. Any case you know anything about. We do seek help from the public. And the police chief, when he came, talked about how important the public is in solving cases.
In everything like this.
Yes. So, and if you're interested also, I'll say, if you're interested in putting up a camera, if you're a business, it only helps, it helps the police department solve crimes, and it helps you. It helps your neighbor. You could help, your neighbor might get broke into, and your camera might be the one that helps him, and you certainly do hope your neighbor's got one up.
Yeah.
So that it would help you if something was to happen at your business. So we need to all get on board with this. Businesses.
And a lot of people, when they're involved in a situation like, they don't remember.
Yeah.
It happens so fast. They don't know how tall they are. They don't know a vehicle description, direction of travel, what they were wearing.
Right.
But if you've got a camera,
that's right.
They can answer all of those questions by viewing it.
Pictures
how many
don't
suspects, license tag, make, model, vehicle, direction of travel. They have everything they need. And the odds of bringing that person to justice and holding them accountable just increase exponentially. I wanted to talk real quick before we end the show. This is your last opportunity for the Friends of the NRA Banquet. It's February 23rd, 6 o'clock p.m., Nash Community College. Tickets are still available. contact Christopher Wheaton, 252-557-7408, Friends of the NRA Banquet. They will be giving away guns. They have an auction. Again, call Christopher Wheaton, 252-557-7408. Come on out, support the NRA, and have a good time.
Absolutely. Okay, that's all for today, folks. Make it a great day. Bye from myself and JP.
See ya.